Howdy, folks. This is your host, Angel M. Hernandez, Season 1, Episode 1, Get Sharp Coaching, the podcast and YouTube video. So I just like to start off by giving a brief description of who I am, what I do, why that matters to you, and how I can help. So to start off, I would just like to say thanks for listening. Truly, thank you for listening. I mean, there's so many other podcasts, so many videos, shows, you name it, movies, books, freaking apps that you could be doing right now, listening to right now. But you're not. You're listening to me. So thank you. And I would just like to say, yes, my name is Angel M. Hernandez. The M stands for Moses. It's a very biblical name, I know. And what I do is I'm a life coach. I'm also a bodybuilder, a philosopher, an author, and a dog owner. So how I can help you is threefold. And also, before I get to that, I will just say the reason I am a life coach, it's definitely not for the money. I will tell you that. If I wanted the money, I would have stayed in my other job. It's because I'm sure some of you can resonate with this, but if someone were to ask you right now, what's your thing? What do you do? What's your passion? What's your hobby? Maybe some of you would know. I really think a lot of you might maybe stutter, maybe pause a couple seconds and maybe not answer. Who knows? I'll tell you this though. My passion is empowering people, empowering myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. That right there is what makes my life so full of meaning. I just thinking about how much change happens on a daily basis. Um, it can really it can mess with you actually, but it could also make you feel great because you could change and improve in every aspect of your life every day, ideally. And so I do love personal development, if you couldn't tell. And how I can help you now. I'll tell you this fun fact: the average person thinks 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Now that's about 12 to 14 thoughts. I'm sorry, every 12 to 14 seconds. That's one thought right there. So imagine trying to figure out a problem, which you do, and you solve it. That's great, which you do. And now imagine trying to figure out 100 problems, which you do, and trying to solve them, which you do. Now, how many of those problems actually get solved? And how many of those problems get kicked down or forgotten about? Kicked down the road and or forgotten about? Probably a lot of them. It's kind of hard to keep an audit of that since it's one of those things. Maybe Elon Musk will, with Neuralink, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to keep track of that soon. But right now, we cannot. So as a life coach, I'm here to help you organize your thoughts, which are, again, they're just like rivers in your mind. So, and I can help you by empowering you, by asking empowering questions, open-ended, of course. It's really easy to say, do you think life coaching is great? And, maybe some people say yes, some people say no, but it's a very big difference when you say, how has life coaching been in your life? You get people to think a little differently. So keeping the conversation on the topic. That's another big one. Again, seeing as how we have so many thoughts, it's really easy to go from one topic to another. And as life coach, it's my job and I'm happy to help with keeping whatever it is that you want in the center or the spotlight in your mind. So that's just one. Another one would be relighting your dying fire. I love this. And I'll give you a brief, maybe 2-minute story. So one of my friends came to me the other day and he thanked me for the coaching session that I gave to him. It was his first time ever getting a coaching session. I said, yeah, sure thing, man. And we went through the second session, and he not only realized that what he's currently doing, of course, he did realize this before the call, but he realized not only is what he doing currently just for the money, but he really, really wants to uh, hurry, like rush home and work on what he once thought about day and night, uh, which is his online store. Um, and it's amazing. His fire was so dim. It's it's not his fault. And I will say, it's coaching was the factor that helped him become more aware of what he really wanted and why he wanted it. And that being the factor, that being the cause, I should say, of his fire being relit. I mean, that right there was it was a great moment for both of us. Um, and lastly, I will say life coaching is it's an event. I'll say that. We go from not really knowing how to get whatever it is that we want to actually just getting it, since time flies. Getting an action plan is one thing, sticking with it is a whole nother thing. So holding yourself accountable day in and day out, day in and day out, that is what I am here for. That is what all, or I should say, all certified coaches are or should be here for. And that is how I can help you, my friends. So to recap, I can help you organize your thoughts. I can help you by holding you accountable, as well as relighting your dying fire. And as a thank you to all of the listeners from right here at home, as well as from around the world, around the globe, I just want to share with you a brief story. And it goes like this. There's a rock. And on this rock, there's two words. On one side of the rock, it says solution. And on the other, it says problem. Now, a guy going through a really tough time in his life, really tough time. It was tough. He picks up the rock. And every time he touches it, he realizes on one hand, there's a problem. And on the other, there's a solution. And this man was, and by the way, this story I'm referencing from Bruce D. Schneider's book, Energy Leadership, the 7-Level Framework for Mastery in Life and Business. Shout out to Bruce D. Schneider and IPEC. So in the story, the character's name is Richard. And Richard, he was going through a hell of a time. I mean, he was getting ready to get a divorce. He was getting ready to lose his company. He was the CEO of a marketing consulting firm. And so, I mean, his employees were not putting in work. They were just sort of combative and just, you name it. They were not happy. He was not happy. Nobody was happy. And so he picks up this rock, Richard. He starts slowly seeing and changing his lens on how he's viewing every situation, from the secretary being sort of a slob and unhappy to his executive teams. I mean, all of them were just fighting with one another. And so this rock, which he created from a coaching session with Bruce Schneider, it actually changed things. And he went from being nearly bankrupt to actually thriving and getting more clients than he ever dreamed of. And I don't want to say it's only because a rock. I'd say it's, of course, many things, like his will to evolve as a human, think differently, and try coaching. Just try coaching. A lot of people there's just such a crazy stigma on like how life coaches are only there for people who are lost or I guess have a lot of money, which is crazy to me. But you know what? I could see it because before I was a coach, I do remember thinking those thoughts as well. So I just want a friendly reminder: coaching is for everybody. Similar to how people used to think about therapy, only crazy people or people that are emotionally distraught and unstable will go to therapy or go see therapists. And as we know now, at least uh, as as I know now, and as I hope many of you know now, that is certainly not the case. And so, similar to how therapy is normalized, I mean, it's healthy. That's the same with coaching. So, with that, I just like to say thank you for listening. Please feel free to reach out to me on Get Sharp Coaching. I'd be happy to meet with you, give you a free consultation, of course. And last, the final intention for this podcast, as well as every podcast, is the most important thing in life is people. And the most important thing in your life might be the people in your life. Those are people. And so if we could just remember to respect people, then maybe this world can actually be a little bit better for the future generation, for the generation to come, for the people to come. So thank you and keep on listening. Have a great day.